Hi guys, welcome to the world of 28mm. Okay, today's episode we're going to be taking a look at static grass. I'm doing the farm board at the minute, and I wanted to just get the first sort of deployment fields grassed up and done. So I thought I'd give you a little sort of lowdown of what I'm doing. Okay, so a few things when you're using static grass. Always try and work in different lengths. Okay, so in these 3 bags here, this is a 4mm, this is a 2mm, and that's a 6mm. I think that's right. I usually label them. And then at the back there we've got 2mm, what's called patchy, and it's just lots of browns and yellows and a little bit of orange. Okay, so when you're working with static grass, have 3 different lengths. Depending on your scale, obviously it's going to change, but have 3 different lengths. Have a mid-tone, a dark tone, and a light tone, and that will break up the evenness of the green. You want to break that up a bit and make it dark and light in areas and patchy in others. Okay, and finally we've just got some what I call dead vegetation there, and it's black and dark brown static grass, and we're just going to use that around the edges of the field. Okay, you can see it there. Bring that up to the camera. Okay. And finally, to make all of this, or some of this, happen, I have over here the nifty tool of a flock box. Okay, you can get these off eBay. I think this was 25 quid, I think, and it just gives you the ability to make the grass stand up, basically. In addition to that, I've also went out and bought some tea strainers. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll put the static grass in here, and we'll sieve it out and get it nice and straight and standing up. Okay, so I think I've covered everything. Yep, so let's head back down to the table, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so I've got a little plastic bowl here, and I'm just going to mix up some static grass quickly before we crack on. Now, when you're mixing them, so let's take the longest one first. I don't really have a ratio, to be honest. I just eyeball it, but you want to go for just dependent on your look, but less of the length. So you want more of your, in my case, 4mm, so your middle length. You want more of that in there than you do the long and the short. So I am just going to mix some up in here. Actually, that's a bit too much. Take some of those clumps out. Okay, so we've got just the summer stuff in there. I'm just going to go through it and break up some of these tufts. Okay, and we'll stick more of this in, or more of this than the other one. Now you might think it's a lot for 2 fields, but this is going to do the entire board. I'll mix it up so I've got enough to do the entire board. Okay, a little bit more of the mid-tone in there. Yeah, that's looking good. Give it a mix and I'll show you guys what I've got in this pot. Okay, so we can see now we've got 2 tones in there. I know we've got these little tufts. I'll break those up in a bit. We can see we've got the 2 tones in that now. So what we're going to do finally is take this 2mm quite bright green one, and we're just going to put a touch of it in. We don't want too much. Always put in less, if you know what I mean. It's, you can't take it out again once you've done. So I'm just going to sprinkle it in, mix it up, and see how it looks. Yeah, I thought so. I need more. You usually find your 2mm and your 6mm go in equal amounts. There we go, lovely. Okay, put that to one side. So, excuse me. So you can see there we've got quite a nice sort of tone to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down so I get rid of all of these clumps. We'll put all of this to one side for the time being. I will switch on the flock box and we'll get flocking. Okay, I'll see you in a sec, guys. Okay, so I've gone through and broken all of that up, so we've got a few tufts in there. I wouldn't say we haven't got any. Okay, the flock box is cranked on and ready to go. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so to start off, I've just got some PVA here. I've watered it down a little bit, say 75% PVA, 25% water. Okay, I don't know whether you can make it out on camera, but I've actually got distinct lines so I know where my hedges are going. I've pulled them up for this bit. Also, the brown that you see on here, what I've done is I've coated it in PVA, I've laid down some fine sand, and then I've mixed some PVA and some brown paint together, and I've painted the whole lot. That will seal the sand so you know it's not going anywhere. You can run your hands over it and it won't go anywhere. And it gives us a good base texture and colour to put this grass on top of. Okay, so I'm going to take my brush PVA and just slap some down. You don't have to worry about getting it on the hedges or reactivating your sand or anything like that. You're basing sand. Don't go too thick on the PVA, one because it will take forever to dry, and two, you'll end up with like clumps where you haven't spread it out properly or where it hasn't been thinned. Go up to the edge of the field there. There we go. Just level that off so I don't get any lumps and bumps. Excellent. Okay. Now for the fun part. Okay, so time to start putting the static grass on. So we're all electrified. And what I'm going to do is hover it over and just rub it through the sieve. You can give it a tap like that. You want to hold it roughly about half an inch to an inch above the top. If you hold it too low, it will start dragging up stuff that's already down, or it will create a link between the two, and you end up with this horrible long bit that you never want. Okay, so you can see it's coming out quite nicely. It's all standing up on end. That a bit further down. Like I say, don't worry about getting in between into sort of all of the hedgy bits. We can sort that out a little bit later. I won't do the whole field because I don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. So I'll just finish what I've got here so you can see what we've got. Okay, there we go. So I'll put that up to one side. Shall switch the flock box off just for a second. Okay, so there you can see we've got a nice sort of green field going on. You can see the different shades that we've got in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of this field. I'm going to do this field as well, but I'm going to do this one slightly patchier. Okay, so there's our initial layer of static grass. You can see this one here, gone for a more slightly patchy look. It should be patchier than that, but what we're going to do is we're going to leave these two fields to dry for 24 hours, and then we'll come back. I've got a little handheld hoover that we're going to go over and suck up all of this excess static grass, and then we'll move on to the next phase and put some more life into it. Okay, so I'll see you when this is dry. Okay, so here we are at the green field. Apparently the first time I did this the camera didn't record it. So here we are again. Basically what I've done is I've taken some PVA. I'll do one more patch just so you guys can see it. Just taken some PVA, skimmed it across the top of the grass like so we get some little beads on the surface, and then I've taken the 2mm patchy static grass and I'm just going to sprinkle some over the top there. So it's not a lot, you can't see it. You don't want to go too heavy. You don't want to overpower the green, you just want to break it up slightly. Okay, so you can see what we've done there. So I'll leave these patches now for 24 hours for that to all dry. That whiteness will disappear and we should just be left with a nice sort of brown tint that we can hoover up the spare from. Okay, so that's how to break up a plain green field. So we're going to nip over to the other field and we'll do a couple of bits on that just to bring some life to it. Okay, so see you in a sec. Okay, so here we are at field 2 again. You can see here that I've clumped up some stuff, and that was my aim for this. And once again I'll do another clump just for you guys so you can see it. I've got some of that dead vegetation. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of PVA onto our brush and onto your selected bit. So let's say, let's put some down here, just a little bit. You don't want much, I might put a little bit more PVA on there though. There you go. Nice little blob of watered down PVA. A little clump of the static grass from the box. And then we are just going to pop it on there like that. Okay. It gives you that clump effect. And as you can see, I've done that on other areas on this field. Okay, so same as the other field, we're going to leave it 24 hours to dry, just let that PVA set. Okay, and we'll come back and we'll take a look. Alright, see you in a sec, guys. Okay, so there you have your static grass, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to see more about the farm board, I will put a link up, up here. It would be the build log for the farm board. Hopefully there'll be another update soon once I get some more of this turf down. But I hope you liked the episode. Like it if you like it, share if you think anyone else would like to see it, and don't forget to subscribe for the next episode. Cheers guys, have fun.